Hi, my name is Nancy Love, and I'd like to tell you about an extremely unfortunate and bizarre experience that I had recently. I just mentioned in a Facebook post, of all things, a very brief little paragraph about how I had rolled my wheelchair past down a sidewalk in Little Italy in San Diego, and a beautiful young woman, well dressed and very pregnant, but very sad, walked toward me to pass. We were just going to pass like ships in the night. And although I almost never make unsolicited comments to total strangers, there's something in her face and something in my knowledge that caused me to do the following. I said very quietly, hopefully respectfully, that I said, "You're breeding in captivity. Do you know that?" And she dropped her head in shame, and she said, "I know." And she said that her boyfriend got her pregnant and she didn't want to abort it. And then she looked me right in the face and she said, "I know that I'm generating a slave." And I shook my head sadly and I said, "Don't do it again." Now, a lot of you will understand the nature and the context of those comments. Some of you won't. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about or why she answered the way she did, consider yourself very fortunate. You're what is called an innocent. And I hope to God you stay that way. A few days after I put that, what I thought was a relatively innocuous but possibly informative little paragraph in Facebook, someone I know slightly, but do know him to be part of an international crime ring that sells weapons, drugs, and slaves. Literally, they are slave runners, and they not only enslave people born in America in a variety of ways, but he's part of a ring that brings people in from Mexico as well as countries across the Pacific primarily. He actually said to me, "We found that girl. We had your phone cloned." I'm serious. I can't make stuff like this up. I've been considered a creative genius all my life, but I couldn't make crap like this up. This is real, people. This is as real as it gets. Someone said that they had cloned my phone. They figured out where I was when I made those comments, and they found the girl and beat her. He said, he said, and this is this smart looking, clean cut young businessman. He looks like anybody. He looks like the straightest, kindest person. But he actually said that they didn't hurt the baby because it was going to be one of them, but that they beat the woman because she had dishonored them, and she was a slave. So I am absolutely horrified. I'm absolutely horrified by what's going on in this world. I am absolutely horrified by everybody who doesn't cotton to the word innocent anymore because they're guilty, and they're guilty of knowledge of being something called brought in. And yes, I have done some stuff that's kind of housed in a science fiction context about it in my YouTube videos. But I'm going to put another video up here in a little while about a different conversation I had with a different, seemingly beautiful, clean-cut businessman, young, professional, articulate, clear-eyed. And I'm gonna make another video here in a few minutes. It might be a little bit longer, but I did want to say this, and I want to say it loud, and I want to see it now. If every single human being on this planet knew what I know, not one of you would be vicious, cruel, and stupid enough to ever have a baby. You wouldn't let yourself get pregnant. You wouldn't let yourself sire a child in a woman. You would not do it to an innocent child. You would not have children. There are plenty of reasons to not have children. We live in a nuclear age in which mutually assured destruction could cause bombs to fly all over the world, pockmark everything, cause California to fall off into the sea. If a if a nuclear weapon goes off in the right place near Yosemite, it could trigger a lava flow that could create a Thera-like experience. Thera. Thera was a volcano that changed history. Thera went off quite a very long time ago, destroyed Minoan culture, and caused all kinds of political changes, primarily because formerly agrarian areas were no longer either habitable or able to produce food. So a volcano can cause a nuclear winter. We won't have to worry about global warming anymore, which is one of the other reasons you shouldn't have children on this world. Because if Yosemite blows all at once and all that lava gets spewed into the air and all that ash, it will circulate the globe in a matter of days and cause a nuclear winter, what's called a nuclear winter. And we'll have, the beginnings of a new ice age. Congratulations, bombs. Duh. God, I can't believe that if you know anything at all about what the militaries are doing to this world or prepared to do to this world, that you think this is the highest form of life around here. Any species that spends this much vast resources and is hell-bent on killing one another all the flippin' time, you don't think this is a higher form of life. You recognize humanity as the lowest form of life on Earth. We run slaves. We stockpile weapons that could destroy the planet and blow it literally apart into chunks. We have weapons on this world that if enough of them go off simultaneously or nearly so at the wrong, or shall we say the right places, we could knock the Earth out of its wobble. But, as it's constantly going around the Earth, it's wobbling back and forth between gravity toward the sun and centrifugal force trying to fling it out into space. Enough nuclear bombs could knock the Earth out of its wobble and cause it to blow apart into chunks, which will then go toward the sun or fling out into space, and we'll have a new asteroid belt where the planet used to be because we're stupid. We're a stupid, miserable, little worthless species, and I'm tired of hearing all of you pompous idiots thinking that we're better than the other animals. We are not. Chimpanzees, gorillas, cats, dogs, horses, ferrets, parrots, they're not trying actively every single minute of every single day to blow the planet up. But we are, because we can't figure out a way to get along. If we would ever use intellect, reason, words, mediation, negotiation to figure out how to not blow each other up all the time, we would be stellar. We would be supreme. We really would be the highest form of life on Earth. But instead, we're the lowest because we aren't smart enough to figure out how to get along. We brutalize other forms of life. We seem hell-bent on destroying every single thing we ever touch. Why? Now I just tell a woman that she's breeding in captivity and she knew exactly what I meant. And then I'm told a few days later that she was beaten. I don't know if that's true, but it might be. Because these people are insidious. They absolutely do have my phone cloned. I know because other people have told me that they've been hearing my texts and my phone calls and so forth. There's no way they could know those things without literally having illegal, massively illegal surveillance equipment on my cell phone. And I'm so expletive deleted tired of being gang stalked, primarily because for the last several years I have been trying to help Interpol, the FBI, Homeland Security, and the DEA arrest cocaine and heroin and speed freaks. And they're also dealing in human slaves. They sell children. They sell children to pedophiles. And they sell weapons, including assault weapons that some people get a hold of and then become shooters in schools and public places. I'm a hero. I'm a courageous hero. Some people call me the voice. And a man I met in Los Angeles recently said, "You're the voice. You're the voice that speaks for Saul. You're the voice that screams and screams loud when the rest of us are too afraid to even whisper what you say." And he said, "You're like that Malala Yousafzai quote, in a world in which everyone is silent, one voice can become powerful." I can't be the only one talking out loud about the slave trade. Let your own voice join mine. Let us raise our voices in outrage like a choir in pain. Let us all talk out loud and let us scream. Let everyone who really understands slavery in the world today scream and scream loud. And go get yourself sterilized. Don't breed in captivity. I gotta tell you everything?